Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of wood grain and winter. And it is Friday, so we are also doing mixed media mayhem today, which we're supposed to be using texture paste, splatter, and a stencil. And I finally have reached for the Comfort and Joy collection that we used in November for Kit Conspiracy. I kept saying I was going to come back to it and use more of it because I didn't use a ton of it. Well, I used quite a bit of it, but I still had a ton of it left over. As you can see here, you can see all those packages to the right hand side there, lots left over. And so I decided to go ahead and come back to it and make another layout. This tan piece is my wood grain piece. It is kind of a not super realistic looking one. It's like a hand-drawn one, but I liked it and I thought it went really well with the tan stars that are on this paper. And these are two leftover scraps from this collection, which is kind of funny because I was wanting to use more of it up, but I'm just using the scraps. I'm not really even using the full sheets. I still have more full sheets to use, but I am going to use not a ton of embellishments, but I'm going to use quite a few of the little tree embellishments that came with the collection. I'm also going to use the stencil that you see there on the center of my desk. I believe I want to say Echo Park, but I could be wrong. It is old. It's been in my stash for a long time, and I think I've only used it maybe once before, but I really like it. I just never come up with the right time to use it for some reason. So I'm going to use it today, and I am going to use some Ranger Sparkle texture paste through it. So it's going to be very subtle, but I end up really liking how it looks. And I am distressing the edges of my wood grain paper. The other papers were already torn for the most part. I think I had to tear one edge off, and I am inking everything up with some walnut stain distress ink. And I'm liking that it's got a lot of extra texture. So while I distress that using my awesome distressing tool from MK's shop over at Some Assemblage Required, let me remind you there's a bunch of people playing along with Mixed Media Mayhem, and there is a playlist down below for that. There's also a Facebook group that you can go and join, and you can go to the albums section and you can see the upcoming recipes or inspiration pieces, or sometimes we also use mixed media sketches, so you never know what you're going to find over there. But the next few Fridays are already posted, so you can go and check that out and you can play along. Even if you only play along in the group, that's totally okay. You don't necessarily have to do YouTube or Instagram to play along and enjoy joining us and making something with the inspiration. So I am also playing along with wood grain and winter, and there are some other people playing along as well. So there's going to be a playlist down below for that also. We have been doing this all month long, every Friday, Sunday, and Wednesday. So you can get more wood grain and winter inspiration if you've missed some of that already throughout the month. Basically, we are using wood grain and documenting something in winter. It doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas. Something that took place in the winter time though. Okay, so now I am also using a wood grain frame from 49 and Market to frame my photo with. That is a picture of my son and his girlfriend that is down in downtown San Jose. There was a big, huge tree. We were actually out to dinner for my husband's birthday, which is 1 week before Christmas. And I snapped this photo of the two of them. I really liked it. I thought it was really a cool tree, and really cool that we were all out together, because we don't do that. We do it. I don't want to say we do it frequently. We do it occasionally, but we try to go out for birthdays and that kind of stuff, or try to have dinner together. So yeah, that was the whole idea. My husband actually works really close to where this photo was taken, and so we met him down there, and we ended up going to a little part of town that's called Little Italy, and we had pizza, which was fantastic. So yeah, they had a white truffle pizza, which was really, really good. Anyway, So now I am pulling out all of those little trees as you see here. I've done my stenciling. It's very subtle. Like I said, it's a translucent texture paste that has like a gold sparkle in it. That's very fine. So it's not really obvious, but I love that it kind of plays off of the tan stars and the tan wood grain that I've got going here. So I'm using that, and then I did go back and ruffle up the edges of my torn papers because I wanted just a little bit more added dimension. And my photo is going to nestle in between those, so it's not going to create any bumps underneath my photo or anything like that. I said photos. I've only got one photo. But it's not going to create dimension under it. So once I figured that out, I was like, okay, I'm going to ruffle those edges up to give it just a little bit of dimension in the page protector. And then I am going to use these stars. I'm inking them up with some walnut stain, distress. Walnut stain? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Distress ink. I just totally lost my train of thought. Inking those up just to give them a little bit of extra pop on the page and a little bit more boldness. I am going to actually ink up the trees, and I did ink the chipboard frame as well. Using a turquoise acrylic word from Color Cast Designs. It just says joy. And I do have quite a bit of Color Cast in my stash because I had a subscription to them for a couple years. And so I'm trying to use those up before I start my subscription back up. But it's kind of slow going because I have a lot of them. So happy to get this one that says joy on here. Now you definitely wouldn't have to use joy to be just a seasonal item, but I believe it was one of their Christmas ones maybe last year or even the year before. So probably don't have that in stock anymore, but it's in my stash, so I'm going to use it up. Okay, so I'm just using not liquid glue. I'm using my tape runner to adhere this down. Normally I would use liquid glue over texture paste, but I didn't complete the texture paste all the way under the center of the photo there, and because it is mostly resting on the star papers, it's held down there, so it's not fighting with the texture paste, which sometimes the ATG does not hold very well to, and I would use a liquid glue for that. I am using some dimensional adhesive to pop up a couple of these pieces of or these little trees, especially since the green one, the dark green one, is overlapping the frame, which is dimensional. I want to make sure that I give some support there, and that pink one as well. And then I'm going to do the same on the opposite side. I started out with 4 trees on each side, which looked very matchy-matchy, but I am going to add some more embellishment to the left-hand side because I feel like it's a little heavily weighted on the right-hand side, with the addition of the stars and the title being on the right hand side. So I will be adding a little bit more to the left hand side just to balance it out and make it nice and even. And I will be using a little bit of dimensional, I think I used dimensional adhesive under the word joy as well, under the tips of the letters where they overlap the photograph, because I don't want the opposing page to put any pressure on it and have it pop up, because there's no give with an acrylic piece. So you need to support it as best you can. It is supported by the edge of underneath the Y, but I did put some dimensional adhesive under the J and the O, the tops of them. Okay, also adding a little bit of walnut stain to this label, or this tab top, which I am going to tuck underneath the word joy, and I have already stamped the date that the photo was taken, and I really like how that looks. I don't need to add a ton of journaling to this. There's not really a whole lot to say, because I will document my husband's birthday separately from this. I just really liked this photograph of them and the tree and the wintry feel of the whole thing. We are in California, so in the Bay Area, there's not really any snow. I think maybe once every decade there might be a dusting that falls from the sky but melts as soon as it hits the ground for like 5 minutes. Yeah, So maybe not even every decade, maybe every, 20 years. So making it feel wintry sometimes is a challenge unless we are traveling, but it does get cold. 40 degrees in the morning sometimes feels very cold, even though there's no snow or anything like that. So, and it normally warms up as well. So, if it's 40 in the morning, it's usually in the 60s, maybe even hitting the low 70s in the afternoon. Just never know. Anyway, I am adding, I added a little postage piece that has a deer on it, a little heart, and these little sprigs coming out from behind the postage piece. I did add an additional Christmas tree as well to that left-hand side, and I'm liking how all of that's looking. I am also going to add a little bit of gold Heidi Swap color shine in these cluster areas, and I think that looks really good just to add a little bit of shimmer. It is also one of the recipe pieces for Mixed Media Mayhem, so I've got the texture paste, I've used the stencil, and I've done the splatter. That is it, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this one. If you have questions or comments, as always, you can leave those down below. I am really behind in responding, so I apologize for that. The holidays have had me very busy, and I have not had an opportunity to respond, but I do read them all and I do respond to them at some point, so bear with me. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope that you've had a wonderful holiday season. I will be back again tomorrow with another video, so come back and check that out. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Bye-bye.